in the languid haze of a midday tryst with my boyfriend, a sudden violent thud echoed from the front door. I blinked my eyes open, drowsy and content. Is someone knocking? But the man just nipped my earlobe, his voice a husky, intoxicating murmur. No baby, you're just hearing things. Then, lines of text scrolled across my vision. Hey, suck you minus babe, maybe you should take a closer look at who's in bed with you. LMAO, the main character thinks his magical contract means HES the only one, but he has no idea he has an identical twin brother. A brotherly buffet, no more starving for our girl. Chef's eating good now. Before I could even process it, a furious, trembling roar came from outside the bedroom. Damien, you son of a bitch, get the hell out here. I was a little succubus Rick had picked up off the street, and because it supposedly bullied Stacy, he hadn't fed me in 2 weeks. I didn't bully her, I insisted, my voice stubborn. I just asked her to stop calling you in the middle of the night. I never get to eat my fill. The man's eyes lifted, cold as a winter sky. And you think you're in the right? He glanced at the text on his phone from Stacy, the one where she dramatically declared she was cutting all ties with him, and his tone grew even sharper. You've been with me this long and you haven't learned a thing, except how to weaponize money to humiliate people. I was trying to humiliate her, I said. His gaze was a blade, but I held my ground. If she thinks money is humiliating, that's her problem. I happen to think money is the best thing in the world. Besides, it was clearly her fault. My feeding time was strictly once a week on Sunday nights. For an SSS-rank succubus, that was barely enough to survive, and she was constantly interrupting it with her calls. Every time he answered, she was either being harassed by thugs at a restaurant or too drunk to get home. Patrick would leave in a heartbeat, leaving me half-minus starved every single time. So I sought her out privately. I offered her some cash and asked if she could please call at a different time. She reacted as if it spat in her face. She gritted her teeth, stomped on the bills with her heel, and enunciated every word with venom. Miss, you can rest assured I have absolutely no interest in your boyfriend. I wouldn't touch a high-mass and mighty rich boy like him with a 10-foot pole. I rejected him more than 10 times before you even met. He was the one who said we could be friends. I had no idea you'd be so insecure about it. Her eyes were rimmed with red as she sneered, honestly, you're acting like I did something shameful. Please do me a favor and tell him I will never ask him for help again. Wouldn't want to be mistaken for a homewrecker. With that, she turned and stalked away, her back ramrod straight, a perfect picture of wounded pride. The kind of defiant posture that awakens a man's desire to conquer. I mulled over her words and came to one happy conclusion: she wouldn't be interrupting my meals anymore. But my happiness was short-lived. The story got back to Patrick, and for the first time, the man who was always so calm and elegant was furious with me. He was convinced I had bullied Stacy and was refusing to admit it. She's a proud person, he said, his voice tight with anger. For her to even ask for help is a huge deal. And you just destroyed the last shred of dignity she had. My own eyes welled with tears, but I repeated stubbornly, but it was my fault. I had always been obedient, but on this, I wouldn't back down. After a few more rounds of this, his patience snapped. It seems you won't understand your place until you're taught a lesson. He loosened his tie and rose to his feet. The manor on South Hill is sitting empty. It'll be the perfect place for you to reflect on your actions, he said, his voice void of emotion. And until you learn to behave, you can starve. Who else do you think is going to feed you if you leave me? I met the warning in his dark eyes and fought back tears. Fine, starve me. I don't want you to feed me anyway. I'm an SSS-rank succubus. I can have any man I want. He just scoffed, unimpressed. No one knew better than him what our magical contract meant. A stubborn fire burned in my chest. I held out for 3 days and then another 3. I was so hungry I was dizzy, my legs threatening to buckle, but I refused to call him. The best way to tame your prey is to corner it, wait for it to exhaust itself, and then appears its savior. Patrick had always been a patient hunter. The summer was a sweltering, humid affair punctuated by violent thunderstorms. On my 10th day locked in the manor, a storm broke. The wind howled and lightning tore across the sky. I curled into a tight ball on the sofa, burying my face in my knees, my body weak with fatigue. My tear-filled eyes kept darting toward the floor to ceiling windows. If Patrick showed up now, I thought I could bring myself to forgive him. Just a little.